What's up, you guys? Welcome to another Python tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you about if statements. So if statements is used so often in Python, and what if statement does is basically checks if something is true or not. And if it's not true, you're going to use something else, which is called else. And I'm just going to demonstrate it, and everything will clear up. So yeah, enough me talking, and let's just get started. So I'm gonna create an input. Uh, you guys should know what I'm doing because I explained that in previous tutorials. So input, enter the first number here. Whoa, that took a minute. Copy that, paste it, make sure to change the variable name so Python doesn't get confused, and make sure to change that to second so the user doesn't get confused even if you're talking to yourself. Alright, so whatever you input here for the first time will be stored in X, whatever you're going to input the second time will be stored in Y. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to say if X is greater than Y, do something. And make sure that you guys use a colon and not a semicolon. With Pythons, you use colons. So in the end of your if statements, just use colon, and then when you click enter, it will just indent it for you. So what do you want to do if this statement is true? The only thing that I want to do is I just want to print something. So print this is true. And make sure to spell true wrong. I'm just kidding. Don't spell it wrong. Um, and then now I want to teach you about else statements. All you have to do to write an else statement is just basically write else. So E-L-C-E, else, colon, and just write whatever you want to do under the colon. So make sure that it's indented, not in the beginning of the line. You see how it's indented? So I'm gonna, if this is not true, I'm just gonna print this is not true. You guys can see how creative I am right now. Okay. So what we have so far is if this is true, print this. If this statement is not true, jump to this line of code and print this. So let's test our program. If you run this program, and then we're gonna input the first number can be 10, enter. The second number can be 9. And if I click enter, it should print this line of code. If it didn't, that would be so embarrassing. Let's check this out. Boom. Alright, it did. Thank God I didn't embarrass myself. So it print this line of code. Because this statement is true, it executed this line of code. But what if the statement is not true? Let's say the first number is 9 and the second number is 10. So obviously 9 is less than 10, so this is going to be false. So it's going to execute this line of code. So let's check. Enter. Boom. This is not true. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says that this is not true. So this is how you can basically write if statements and else statements. So and make sure that these are aligned. So all it does is just checks. I'm gonna go over it again. You input, the first input is gonna be stored in X, the second input is gonna be stored in Y, and this code is gonna check. Is X greater than Y? If it's true, print this. Oh, it's not? Then print this. That's all it does. I know this is a useless program, but you need to get the basics before you jump to advanced stuff. And one more thing that I want to teach you guys, that in Python you can use greater or less, or you can use greater or equal. Sorry, greater or equal. That would work too. If x is greater or equal to y, that would work too. But you guys just make sure that you put the equal sign um, um, after the greater sign, because if you put it before it, it would not work. So if you do this, watch what happens. PyCharm automatically tells me that, hey, what are you doing? This is wrong. So make sure that you have greater and equal. So let's check. You don't believe me? You don't believe me that it's going to work? Let's do it. 10, second number is 10. So it should print this line of code right here, because if x is is equal to y, it should print this code. Boom, it did. So this is basically it about if statement. And no, sorry, there's one last thing that I want to teach you. There is the greater, equal, less than equal, and there is what if you want to check if two things are equal. You don't use one equal sign, but you use two equal signs. So if you say x is equal to y, print this. So let's run that code real quick. 8, this is true. This is true. So this is another way to check something. And the last thing I want to teach you guys is this. If you put an exclamation mark and an equal sign, that means if x doesn't equal y, print this. This means doesn't equal. It's weird, but this is how Python, this is the Pythonic language. So I don't know, deal with it, I guess. So 8, and for the second one is 9. So this is true because x doesn't equal y, so it does this. So this is your quick tutorial on how to use if statements. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna be covering more more things about if statements in the future. So I hope you learned something from this video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.